Today, I have a really special video for you. This is an interview with my client Iman about how he just hit 7 months porn free. Without further ado, let's get into it. First, can you give me a brief overview of your background and your history with porn?
I think the problem with porn addiction in general is that the further time goes on, the younger the people that get access to it become. Like I am 26 now, and I was around 11, 12, or that was back in 2008 and 2009, and I had access to porn at that age back then. So you got to imagine what's possible today to even younger people, to even younger children.
Yeah,
And I think the problem with porn addiction was that at that age, I wasn't really fully aware of what I was doing. And because I was doing it at such a young age, it became like a natural thing to me. Like if I started porn like as an adult, I will be more mindful about it. Like, what is this? Is this actually benefiting me, or am I like dangerous to getting addicted to it? But as a child, I think I wasn't really fully aware of what a danger was like connected to porn addiction. And it slowly like slithered its way up to my adulthood until it became a part of my own. And so fast forward like to my adulthood, it became like a natural thing, like getting into bed, putting out my phone and doing doing the deeds. And yeah, I think that is the most dangerous thing that like it's like a parasite that visits you in your childhood where you're like the most vulnerable, and like it uses you as its host like for how many years. Like there are people that have porn addiction for the last 30 years. Like I can consider myself lucky that I met someone like you, that I in general found the pickup space a few years ago. Like like I think I actually met you through Austin's group.
yeah,
Like right now, I'm also like in a game transformation. And before that, I will always procrastinate. That is an aspect that also was caused by my porn addiction. I was procrastinate. I would feel unworthy to learn all that stuff. And all the time I was like disappointed of myself, thinking like, oh, you want to become like, you want to solve your dating life. You want to date all these beautiful women. You can't even clean yourself from porn addiction and all this stuff. But seeing everything now from a more clear perspective, anyone that is doubting, that has doubts to invest in something like that, I would strongly advise you to do that, because it's a benefit that you will haunt you for a lifetime. Haunt, like, and another analogy, like haunting, it's haunting in a positive way.
how have things changed since joining the program and working with me?
I'm 26 years old now. I'll be 27 years old in August. Gladly, I am porn free for I think almost 7 months now. We have April now. Prior to probably, let's say, September last year, I wasn't able to sustain abstaining from porn addiction after a relapse. If once I had a relapse in the past, I would like probably jack off like multiple times that day. And every time it was the same thought, like, come on, this is the last time. This is the very last time. And that is the concept I never thought about until you told me about the concept. Prior to that, I always tried to do it with willpower. I never thought about making porn less accessible. Me, my friends, and my cousins, we like to game a lot at night. We go into the party on the PSI, if you play pro clubs on FIFA and all this stuff. And it's a thing that we all like very much like to do. And if it's in any way less accessible or hard to access because our internet has some failure or wireless LAN connection is like missing or something, we actually don't play, because in that situation we say, okay, it's hard to access right now, so it never crossed my mind until you told me about it. And that was like, I think that was the game changer. That was the key concept, like trying to find a more clever way to fight it, not with willpower only, and having actual tools to implement it right now. Because I think after off our call back in the day, I immediately downloaded the app and started implementing what you taught me.
Yeah, that's
And
amazing.
that's basically whenever there's a coach or something, that's what makes or breaks the student. If the coach has actual, like, not like some woo coach, like you have to clear your mind, empty your mind and stuff, like that gives you actual tools to work with and explain to the concepts. Because the way you explained me the concept was very easy, and that shows me that you as my coach understand the concept yourself. And having a coach that understands his own concepts well gives me the confidence that his practices will work for me.
Yeah, I appreciate that a lot. Yeah. The common trap that every guy falls into is thinking that willpower is the solution. And so they stay there fighting. And
Hmm.
all the time that they spend fighting against
Yeah.
their addiction, all that energy they could have been spending doing something that actually helps, right? And so it seems like you definitely experienced that shift happened where you went from
Yeah.
fighting everything to putting that energy into solutions.
Yeah, it's a
And
big trap. Bro, I'm telling you, it's a big trap. Like prior to that, I was doing what you just described, and fast forward, I'm waking up one day morning and 13 years have passed. I'm not 11 anymore when I started. I'm out of nowhere, I'm 24 and still addicted to porn. And in my case, it had a very severe negative effect on my dating life because I felt sexual shame. I I I didn't have the confidence, let alone confidence, self-worth. Because confidence, in my experience, I had confidence whenever I was competent to do something very well, or slightly, no, not slightly, but above average. But self-worth came like from within. If I were to wake up one morning and feel good, that will be because of self-worth. It's crazy once you wake up from this kind of dream state, man. You will realize, like, you see the big picture, what it flew into your life, like different areas, like business, family, dating, mating, relating, whatever. And I never would have thought that porn addiction had that big of an effect in general.
what were some of the big insights you had that helped you? Did you have any big shifts in how you approach solving this problem that helped you a lot?
Well, the most important thing, probably not probably, like I think most definitely the most important thing was that you really clarified to me what the issue was, the main issue. I had no idea why I was failing all the time, like when it came to quitting porn. And I even noticed that after like coming out of this grudge, this devil of an addiction that porn is, I really noticed that specifically for me, and I think the same goes for a lot of people out there as well that are struggling with this, that my dating success was like entirely connected to my porn addiction, because that porn addiction kept me in that bubble. I felt sexual shame every time I went out and a pretty girl would look at me or smile at me. I would just like do this, look down. There was like a basic sexual shame being around me all the time. And the first time you actually explained to me why willpower didn't work for me, it all made really sense. Because yeah, okay, there might be a certain percentage of guys and that have any type of addiction, whether it's cocaine, heroin, and in our case, porn addiction, they might be able to pull through it with willpower alone. But for the majority of guys, willpower won't work. Like the most important concept that made me really click was that I have to find a way for my brain to make porn less accessible. The first thing in general was that you gave me actual tools, i.e., the app and the concept to work and implement now into my life, that I really lost all the lust to watch porn again. Right now, I actually realize that I feel normal right now. I'm less reactive to my environment. I feel much more at ease when I'm outside, and and the most important thing, not I'm not scared of individuals in general anymore. When I go out and there's people outside, I don't feel anything at all, apart from whatever the general feelings like sadness, anger, whatever it is that might cause these. But in general, you'll see the big picture, because when you're in the game, alibi for addiction, when you're in the game, you rarely see what's going on in general. But when you're outside of it, you see the big picture. You see where there are like rifts and rips in the picture, and that's where I'm at now. And I actually see like where porn led into and the whole different areas of my life. Dating being like one of the most like severe ones. And
Yeah,
yeah.
man, that's amazing. That's something that I noticed with a lot of guys in porn, with my own journey and experience included, was that we think it's just this thing I'm doing. And it's not
Mm,
until you quit and you get that space, like you were talking about, that perspective, where
mm,
you start to see that, like, oh my gosh, how many things in my life, like social anxiety, the dating issues, the lack of confidence, did I think were actually just parts of who I was or something like that? When they're in reality, they were symptoms and consequences of my addiction. And when you start to get some space away from that, it's like the fog clears. And it's
mm,
totally crazy how these people realize that
mm,
what they're experiencing in their day-to-day life is a consequence of porn. It's
mm,
not who they
mm.
are. So I really appreciate you hitting on all that. That was amazing.
Yeah, of course. And the thing is that one thing that I really appreciate people that take the time or like commit their lives to working in these specific areas, because I think people like you or other people that work in the same area are giving a lot of value to people. Like they're literally getting their lives back because I don't think they even realize how much porn like takes away from their own lives.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, one of the things that I encountered this for a long time, right, was there's multiple opportunities that I had in the
Yeah,
past to pay for some kind of mentorship or coaching. And especially when it comes to something like porn addiction, there's a lot of resistance to getting involved in a mentorship program. And for me,
yeah, yeah,
some of
yeah,
the thinking that I had was I don't want to pay for this. But one of the things, like it sounds like you're kind of describing in your own words is that I had this realization as well was, bro, I've paid so much for this already. I lost 13, 12, 13
13
years of
years.
my
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
life.
yeah.
Like I
Oh
was
yeah,
willing to
yeah, yeah,
pay
yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah.
I
Like
was willing
yeah,
to pay that. And right now, like I know that the help that I need is available to me. And for me, like in my own recovery journey, like, I have 12 years of my life consumed by active porn addiction. And then I got into recovery, and then I'm going to like
yeah,
thousands of hours of therapy and the thousands of dollars I spent on that and like
yeah.
thousands of dollars of mentorship. And I'm like, bro, there isn't a way
Yeah.
out where you don't pay. It's like you keep paying in with your life, or you go down the funnel of like paying to get tens of
Mm,
thousands of dollars of therapy and help or whatever. And yeah, I think it's such a huge mindset shift to realize that, like, man, being able to pay for expert mentorship, whether it's in business, whether it's in dating, it's like a
yeah,
cheat code. Like
yeah.
I get mentorship all the time. Like I just joined a business mentorship. That's incredible. I'm still continuing to get dating mentorship. Like I do all that stuff all the time because it
Mm.
like I don't want to reinvent the wheel by myself. And so it sounds like you some of the stuff that you've been through has caused that same thing to click for you too.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Of course, of course. And I think it's the best thing that you can invest into because I know people that spend a lot of money on so much. Like here in Germany, like a pack of cigarettes is like I think 9 or 10 euros, and I I have friends who like buy like probably like 3 to 4 packages a week, and that's like $40. If you rack it up to a year, it's like probably like 1,000 or more. And I think, why don't you all take all that money and spend it on some good coach or like in something that brings a little bit of value to you out of it for your own life? And I think investing in dating or any type of like personal development is a very long lasting. It's very long lasting, and you benefit from it in the long run, and you can use it to make money later. If there's anyone that has doubts doing that, it's one of the best things that you can do because it's invaluable basically. Or
Yeah.
no, not it should be, but it's to me specifically because I got my life back. As you said, I wasted like 13 years of my life, or even more, 14 years of my life being addicted all the time. And I'm telling you, man, it's so crazy when I think about it. Counting down all the years, all the prior years, like this year I'm going to stop. Tomorrow I'm going to do the last time. And if I think about it, like 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years passed. Every day full of these thoughts, repeating it like a loop, infinite loop. But yeah, it's like I'm in a mess of words, as you see, because when I think about it, like I can't even put it into words because literally a devil of an addiction. It's one of the I think it's one of the worst addictions, if not the worst, that is out there in the world right now. I think that is the problem with a lot of men being like in masculine these days because they basically waste all their masculinity online in their bedrooms, all alone by themselves. And once they go outside, they don't have any drive anymore. Like I could talk about this for hours, man. Like in what kind of ways porn like alters you in such sneaky ways that you don't even notice, that you can't even notice because you're deep into it. You just can't see the big picture in that moment. There whether you stumble on it like randomly, or in my case, there's someone that actually has knowledge and shares it with you, and that's when it makes click for you. You actually see the big picture now, and you see why things in the past didn't work, and now you see how you can improve in the long run, in the future, and
Mhm.
that's exactly what I did.
What would you say to somebody who's thinking about joining the program and who maybe is having some reservations about getting involved?
You can pay all the money you want if you don't take actual action in the end, like, and you take action the way that you've been told, it won't work for you. But if you do, because it has been proven. I'm talking to someone that went through the same issues as me, and he's helping me right now. And if he can do it, I can do it. And if he shares his knowledge with me and I don't implement it, the exact way that he advised me, I can only wonder why it didn't work. But I shouldn't. I should know that I didn't do the things and the exact steps that I was told. So action and the right ways, like the way I was told or you were told, is like also very is key.
With all that said, if you're somebody who's struggling with pornography and you see all the negative impacts that it's having in your life, and you've been trying the whole willpower thing, like we talked about in the call, and it's not working for you, I would love to help you get this problem solved. Please go book a call with me at the link down below in the description. I'm looking forward to hearing from you, and I can't wait to help you get to the life that is waiting for you on the other side of quitting this addiction. I'll see you in the next video. Peace.